Hello, welcome back to the February plan with me. It's very late, I'm sorry. I just did not have a fast enough computer to edit this with. Bullet journaling throughout January was really good for me. I had so much fun. I carried this book around everywhere with me and I filled in as much as I could, and the ideas page was pretty much full, and the diary space was quite okay, some a bit smaller than others. I do need to find my happy place, but it was really fun with the different layouts that I had, and this was my book lines that I wanted to write down. And the highlights page is empty because it was not yet finished. January had not finished by the time I was doing this, but here it is anyway. The February title page, I'm using the Furinosuke. No, it's not Furinosuke. It's the Tombow Dual brush pen, and something weird happens. Wait for it. What? And it just gets brighter, and I lost quite a bit of footage, but it wasn't that big of a deal because you can see it's only just the 3 fruits added. I'm using a liner to add some shadows to my lettering, and I had fun practicing calligraphy throughout January, but I was so disappointed with how badly I did this February, but it's okay, like, it's okay to make mistakes. I'm okay with that. I will do it better next time. So February theme, very random. I went for fruits because I discovered that throughout January, as I was writing down what I was eating, I saw I didn't eat a lot of fruits or veggies, so I thought, okay, I need to remind myself I need to have some more fruit. So this is why we have some fruit. And I actually don't have a lot of colors yet in my range of Tombow dual brush pens, so I'm just using what I have, and I always love this green, so I use these 2 colors. And you can see me trying to add layers to this watermelon. So I have an apple, an orange, a pear, and I'm just working on the watermelon. This bullet journal, I like the cover, I love the cover, but unfortunately the paper isn't as thick as I wanted, and so that's why I had to check if it's leaking through, and thankfully it didn't leak through as much as I thought. So the calendar layout that I had throughout January, it was pretty big. I wouldn't mind using it again, but I did want to just try having it smaller and seeing how I would do with a smaller one, and I'm sorry that I'm just going everywhere with this one, but it happened. I'll make sure I plan next time. This layout, the February plan with me, it actually, there was no plan, I just went for it. And that's why you see me counting between the lines, and you see no paper, no pencil marks in between as well. And so the 28 boxes are done, and I tried again to do some better calligraphy, but it's even worse than the first time. I don't know what was happening to me this day when I was filming this, but I will do better next time. I promise. I promise. And moving on, I am just writing the most simplified version of the days and filling out the numbers in the calendar in the top corner. So last month I tried to fill in the workout routines or like whatever I did on that day, but that didn't really turn out very well. And so this month, because my theme is fruits, I'm gonna write fruits or veggies depending on what I ate that day, and I'm just adding a little goal box down at the bottom. And I was quite pleased with how I tried to actually keep up with my goals. Some weren't completed, unfortunately, but that's why you have bullet journals. You can see what you are lacking and you try to improve, and so that's good. So up here are these green little things. Can you guess what they might be? It's actually an apple and a pear, and I was just going to do the fruits, and then I felt like I should add some more character to it, so I made them holding hands, and they're just my little doodles. And yeah, I need to befriend my fruits before I eat them. And yeah, just adding some point colors, and oh, that just appeared. I lost the footage for that, I'm sorry. And moving on to the habit tracker and sleep tracker. I actually loved the sleep tracker. Like, the habit tracker, yeah, I could see what I was doing, and that was good. Some things were less of a habit, but I was very satisfied with how I see the things actually being completed. These ones, I tried to... Actually, it's pretty much the same layout as the January one. I'm just doing the numbers going horizontally, but vertically on the page, but yeah. And I just wanted to try sleep a little less because I sleep quite a bit, and so that's what I saw, and I found it really effective in January, seeing how much I slept, and I could hold myself accountable, and I think, okay, I slept too much like this day or like this week, I should try wake up a bit more earlier. And yeah, it actually worked out really well, and I'm kind of falling into a more regular pattern of sleep. Unfortunately, if I drink a cup of coffee, that will affect me quite a bit, but I'll have to watch out for when I'm drinking my coffee from now on. And yeah, these two guys will probably be coming out everywhere, my pear and apple. And yeah, just adding some more doodles to these. I like adding some more touches to fill the page, but I don't like to fill it up like completely, so just gonna add some leaves to the side over here, and yeah, I think I'll just leave that there. And let's move on to the ideas page. No, actually the expense tracker page. So, very strange. Like I said, I hadn't planned out anything for the February plan with me, and this expense tracker that I did for February, I was so glad with how it turned out. Well, I hope you agree with me by the end, but I actually really liked how the calligraphy went. It's much better than the ones before. Yes? And yeah, and I had a slightly lighter shade of this orange brush pen that I had, and I saw this in a lot of other people's bullet journaling plan with me's, and I actually love how there is a line, which is kind of funny because I'm using a bullet journal to avoid lines, but I'm creating lines, and that's satisfying. It's quite weird, but anyway, it looks nice and simple and clean, and I just love how that turned out. And I actually filled up the whole page for January, and so I am glad that it's full, but then kind of disappointed that I spent so much. But having that aim for the month, I think, is very important, and so I'll probably write that out as soon as I finish this plan with me. Adding a little dollar note on each side. See, it looks quite nice and clean and that's why I liked it. And just on this right page, I added this one to the end of the January spreads, but this is the lines to remember page. And so I read quite a few books every month, so I like to write down some lines that I like to remember, that I want to remember. Some lines that are maybe inspirational or challenging, or some things that I might want to pass on to my friends, things like that. And I like to just keep record of these things, and so I have a page dedicated for just that. And I follow quite a number of illustrators on Instagram, and this person did like a really cute, like simple as version of like stacked books, and so that's the little doodle that I'm doing over here. And so I'm hoping to read at least 4 books this month, because I didn't get to 4 books last month. So hopefully I'll stay on track and get that done for this month. I found the ideas page for January, just having this cleanest, just bordered layout, to be quite nice. And because I have quite a few ideas that I want to get down, this is very ideal for me. And finally onto the weekly spread. I found that the spreads that I worked with throughout January were pretty helpful for me. So just having the month title up there and the little calendar on the left top corner, it was really helpful, and I got to see where I was. And I actually don't have a full calendar in my room, and so I would always refer to this, and it was really helpful for me, so I loved it, and that's why I'm having it here again. And on the last week of January, I had a master's to-do list page. Some bullet journalers like to do that, and I hadn't used it before, but having that there, I could see all the things that I had to do, and I didn't have to limit myself to a particular day to do something, so it was good. And so I wanted to have that, but before that I just wanted to have my lists. And something funny happened. I wrote down, I was about to write Monday, and then I was like, no, it's actually Sunday, I need to start with Sunday. And then yeah, I just wrote everything else, and then I was like, okay, get over it. And yeah, so I will use the master to-do list to have on the side so I can see what I need to do throughout the week, or just whenever I can. And these, the days that I wrote on the side, those are the day-specific things. So I will most likely write the events that I have to do, or if I have a deadline of some sort, I'll write it on the next to the day instead of the master to-do list. Well, I might write it in both, but the days are more specific. The bottom area, I will still be writing down what I ate throughout that week, and also the bottom line, I'll be writing what sort of good thing I did for myself. For example, did I have a lot of water? Did I do a workout throughout that day? And it was good for me to see what was actually changing me. And oh, when I was doing the the 2018 bullet journal setup, there was a take care of yourself girl page where I could write down the measurements for my body to see how I was changing. Although it wasn't a drastic amount, I did lose a few centimeters and millimeters of some bits. One part there was a gain, and that was quite disappointing, so I'll be focusing on that point a bit more throughout this month. And so I'm just making the area for the diary, and that's probably what's going to be the final part of this February plan with me. And yeah, I actually didn't need a really big box for next week, but I might just write the notes there too. And this will be the final flip through for February with my fruit themes and little fruits everywhere. I think I might go stationery shopping for some more brush pens with better colors, but yeah, I'm glad with how that turned out. And enjoy February. Have a good Valentine's Day. Bye guys.